Hello. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you happen to be in the world. I'm in Hawaii, and today I wanted to get on and do some tapping for negative self-talk. Tapping is otherwise known as EFT, or emotional freedom techniques, and I'm not sure if it's like something is going on in the air or what, but I'm normally I have a pretty positive self-talk, positive dialogue going on in my head. But yesterday and today, like, my brain has just been serving up asshole thoughts, and I've been having to do a lot of work to redirect them. So maybe it's not just me. So I figured I would jump on and do a class on EFT, or emotional freedom techniques, otherwise known as tapping. Sasha, yeah, something in the air, right? So I'm going to teach this class, and it'll also live in my profile for anybody who wants to come and tap along with it. So again, like I said, EFT stands for emotional freedom techniques, otherwise known as EFT tapping. I am a courage and compassion coach, and I am also a clinical EFT practitioner. So I use EFT a lot in my personal life and with my clients. We do a lot of deep dive work using EFT and other energy modalities. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be tapping on what's known as energy meridian points that are located around the body. These are points used in traditional Chinese medicine. If you've ever done acupuncture or acupressure, but the cool thing is you don't need needles. You're just using the tips of your fingers. And what we're doing while we are tapping on these points is we're putting our attention on kind of maybe a thought or a feeling that's making us feel uncomfortable. And sometimes that feels a little scary, like, oh, Jess, aren't we supposed to not give those parts of us a voice? Aren't we supposed to reframe them or, give them evidence as to why we can think better of ourselves? So sure, that I want you to think about a time where maybe you've been venting to somebody and you just need to get something off of your chest and you need to talk about how you feel, and that person tries to immediately go into fix-it mode or immediately give you all the reasons, like, oh, you shouldn't think that about yourself. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't feel that way. It kind of feels like shit, right? Feels like we're just not allowed to have our feelings. We're not allowed to think the way we think. And we do that to ourselves all of the time. And so there's a difference between just giving that part of us a voice, and there's a difference between complaining about something every single day, right? And we are allowed to have negative or uncomfortable thoughts or emotions, and we're even allowed to maybe spend some time with them and come to an understanding of why they're there, versus feeling like we have to immediately go into fix-it mode or think that something is wrong. And what we're doing when we tap on these points is we're actually calming the central nervous system. I'm a really visual person, and so I imagine if a little kid is having a tantrum, you just kind of sit there and rub their back and just say, get it all out, especially if it's a young kid, toddler, might not have the words to express what's going on with them. Because believe it or not, that's usually what's going on in our brains and in our bodies. Most of our decisions about who we are, what we're deserving of, what we're worthy of, or our places in the world, they were made by us somewhere between the ages of 0 and 6 or 7 years old. And so these parts of us that sometimes feel like they're tantruming, they really are. It's a part of us tantruming, and our brains are designed to protect us. They're just, sometimes that part of our brain isn't It's the most well-intentioned, but not the smartest. And so instead of just simply saying like, hey, Jess, hey, Sasha, we're feeling a little scared right now. Maybe can we slow down, or maybe can we think this through? Our brains instead are like, you're terrible. You definitely shouldn't do that. You're going to fail and everybody's going to laugh at you. Like, that's kind of what we're working with. So being able to extend compassion to ourselves and to those parts of us that are having a bad day or are maybe reminded of something in our past that we might not even be like consciously remember, is really important. So we're going to do some tapping together. I'll even be walking you through the points. So just follow along with me and you'll be tapping where I tap. So I'm just going to start by showing you where the points are, because even tapping on these points, if you have like 5 to 20 minutes like in your day, whether you're reading, you're watching TV, taking a bath, just tapping through these points is going to send some calming signals to the amygdala, to the central nervous system, which is going to help you kind of create more of a sense of peace for yourself. So we're always going to start here, the side of the hand. I always say just use like a couple of fingers, your fingertips. And I always say you don't want to bruise yourself, but it's like harder than butterfly kisses. So we're going to start here. And then we're going to go up to the tippy tops of our head. So imagine you have a pole sticking straight up to the sky. And then our eyebrow points, which is the hairs right in the beginning of our eyebrows. The side of the eye, again, these 3 points and the next one I'm going to discuss are all on your ocular cavity, so all on the bone there. Sometimes people tap here at the temple and the point is actually right here. And then underneath your eyes, kind of lined up with your pupils, again on that bone, underneath your nose, underneath your bottom lip, and then the collarbones, but it's just underneath your collarbone. So if you trace your finger to the end of your collarbone and go down about 1 inch, 2 inches, and 1 inch over, that soft, fleshy area, this is actually one of my favorite points. That's what we're talking about. And then the last point is about 4 or 5 inches down from your armpit. So I usually like to do that. But if you, no judgment here, but if you should be wearing a bra, if you're not wearing a bra, just imagine where the top of your bra might lie. And that's that last point. So here's the points that we're going to be using today. And if you think about what I just said in terms of, I forgot what I just said. That's the kind of day I'm having. But anyway, it will come back to me. Oh, I was talking about how when you just tap through the points, that creates a sense of calm, reduces cortisol, which is the stress hormone in your body. So just by tapping along, you feel a sense of peace. And when you tap along with somebody else's words, even if those words aren't resonating with you, tapping still works. It still works to reduce the amount of stress you're feeling, works to calm your body. As we tap along here, I am going to be using my words because I am sure I'm not alone in how I'm feeling. But if you want to supplement your own words, and I'll also be pausing at times, so you will have time to kind of visualize what's personal for you, because the efficacy of tapping really lies in its specificity to what kind of you're feeling. So let's just go ahead and get started. I didn't mean for really this to be too long, but I love talking about EFT and I want people to understand it, so sometimes I get a little carried away. But we're going to start here. So start lightly tapping with me. And here's where we give a voice to the truth of how we're either thinking or feeling. And we combine that with an affirmation of acceptance. So we're acknowledging and then accepting ourselves with whatever we're thinking or feeling. And we do this because we want to clear out all that kind of negative stuff, and then that makes room for us to welcome in more of actually what we want. So we never have to be scared of those mean little voices. We just have to let them feel heard so they can get on board. So I want you to think about maybe if you've just noticed a lot of self-judgment lately or in the past couple of days, if there's a particular thing your brain loves to tell you, and when you put your attention on that, just notice if you feel it anywhere in your body. I'm gonna get a glass of water, a cup of water. And I want you to go ahead and just give that a rating on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being pretty small, not feeling it too much. 10 being like, whoa, I feel this intensity in my body when I think about some of the asshole things my brain's been telling me lately. So I just want you to go ahead and make a note of that somewhere. And then you'll check in after we do a couple rounds. All right? And so you'll just be repeating after me, and we do the setup statement 3 times. Yeah, it's going to sound a little redundant, but it's an important part of just kind of letting our brain know, like, hey, we're going to talk about this. And just in case you start tapping and you actually start feeling more emotional, or that mean voice gets louder and you're like, what the fuck, Jess? I thought you said this was supposed to help me. I promise EFT never puts anything into you that's not already there. It's just that voice is there begging to be heard. And if that does happen, I want you to keep tapping and keep your eyes open. And tapping will allow that to release. And if you have any other questions, you can always shoot me a DM after this. And also, if you want me to include your words, go ahead and drop in the comments anything, any stresses you might have, any mean thoughts your brain might be serving up to you, and where you might be feeling in your body, and I'll incorporate your words too. And so let's just finally get started, I promise this time. So even though my brain has been kind of an asshole lately, it keeps telling me I'm not good enough, that nobody cares what I have to say, and that I should probably just quit now. Right here, right now, I'm open to giving space to this issue. And I accept myself and honor what I'm feeling. And if you're ever like, nope, I heard what you said about accepting ourselves with the emotion and not necessarily the emotion, but I don't want to, you can always just say, I'm open to accepting myself with this. So next one, even though my brain has been an asshole lately, keeps telling me that I am not good enough to do what I want to do, and that nobody wants to listen to me anyway. And I feel this tightness in my throat when I think about it. Right here, right now, I'm open to sending compassion to the parts of me struggling, and I accept myself and honor how I'm feeling. So even though it's the last time on this part, my brain's being an asshole, keeps telling me that I'm not good enough and that nobody wants to hear me anyway. And I feel this tightness in my throat when I think about it. Right here, right now, I accept myself and honor how I'm feeling. And we'll just tap through the points, keep repeating after me. We're just gonna put our attention on that. My brain keeps telling me I'm not good enough. No one wants to hear what I have to say. There's other people that are doing it better. And And the negative self-talk has just been unreal this week. My brain keeps telling me I'm never going to be as good as I want to be. Nobody wants to listen to me. Why are you even here? That's the one it just gave me. I'm just allowing me to give a voice to these thoughts and feelings. And I just want you, whatever's coming up for you, just let it come up without judging yourself, without trying to push it away, without trying to argue it or make you wrong. I just want you to imagine stepping into the observer role, observer of whatever thoughts and feelings are going on. And just maybe give a nod and say, all right, I hear you. That must be hard. My brain is being an asshole. Telling me that I'm not good enough. Telling me nobody wants to hear what I have to say. Telling me that I'm not nearly as good as others. All I have to do is let it talk. And right now, I accept that I'm having this human experience. I don't really like it. It doesn't feel comfortable. But I'm open to dropping the judgment about that. And I'm open to maybe forgiving myself for having these thoughts, for my brain not knowing how to nicely tell me that it might be scared. And I accept what's coming up for me right now. So let's just go ahead and check in. So that's like the clearing part of EFT. So that is the most important piece, is like being able to give ourselves a voice. If you've ever done EFT before and you're just tapping on positive things and you're wondering like, why the fuck aren't my affirmations coming true? I still don't believe these. It's because you have to do the clearing first. Let that part of you have that voice. So now that we've done that, I just want you to tune in and just see what's already shifted. What have you allowed yourself to let go of by giving that part of you a voice? Just make a note in that, and you can drop it in the comments if you'd like, if you want to share. And then we're going to just go ahead and start another round of tapping, and I'm only going to do one setup statement here. So even though my brain's still being kind of a jerk, right here, right now, I'm open to allowing myself a new perspective. And I accept myself and honor what I'm feeling. My brain's still kind of an asshole. And I know that's kind of what brains do. And so I'm stepping into a new perspective. I'm giving myself the opportunity to choose compassion when my brain tells me mean things. I'm open to giving myself compassion. Because I know my brain's trying to keep me safe. And I don't have to argue with it. I can just listen and let it be. I can listen to those parts of me that are struggling. And I choose to send them love. And I'm stepping into the possibility that this gets to be easier every day. I'm stepping into the possibility that I have more control than I think over what my brain thinks. Even when it's being a jerk. And just let yourself take a deep breath, and we're just going to tap through the points. Just tap through them with me. And one of my favorite things to do is literally to take kind of a step back, and whether I'm tapping, sometimes I do this without tapping, I literally just put a hand over my heart and I literally send love. Imagine me sending love inward to whatever part of me doesn't have the words to just say, hey, I'm scared. I don't want to be made fun of. Sending love to that part of me that maybe remembers a time where they were told you're not good enough or you're dumb. And so if any of that's coming up for you, just tap and let those images, those memories come up, and send them some love. And then just one more time, tuning in. And again, thinking of what you've just made room for. How do you want to believe? What do you want to believe now? What do you want to step into more of? And we're going to go ahead, and now that you've had that shift, now that we've done that clearing, we're going to go ahead and start tapping in more of what we want. Because that's absolutely, we can do that with tapping too. It's not just for the negative. We clear the negative and then we welcome in the positive. So then we're just going to start on the eyebrow points. I know I'm amazing. I know I will get through this. I'm choosing to treat myself with kindness. I'm choosing to remember that I am the one in charge. And I don't have to fight with my brain. But I also don't have to believe the negative things that it tells me. I'm empowering myself to choose love. I'm empowering myself to choose self-belief. I know that I'm here for a purpose. And self-doubt shows up the closer and closer I get to fulfilling that. So I'm stepping into more love. I'm stepping into possibility. And so now as we tap through the points, I want you to visualize what that is for you. Whatever you just shifted, what did you make room for? And I just want you to keep tapping through the points and just visualize yourself moving through the day with this empowered, loving energy. What would you be doing? What action would you be taking? How would you be talking to yourself? Just let that play out. Because visualization is a really important process to help us create psychological safety. Now, sometimes, lots of times, most of the time, why our brains are such assholes, especially when we're getting ready to do something public, something big, something other people are going to see. It's because, again, they just don't want us to fail. And they don't have the words for that. Or success might seem really terrifying, as weird as that sounds. So the more you can visualize yourself having whatever it is that you want, visualize yourself with the clients that you want, the career that you want, the partner, the money. You are teaching your body that it is safe for you to have those things. So don't ever be scared to daydream. It's such an important process of being a human. So I just want you to tapping here. And let's just take a deep breath. And I want you to just give yourself a little high five, a little congratulations for showing up for yourself today, for doing this tap. You can even send a little thank you to those parts of you that were being mean in the beginning. And I want you to just take one word from right now. Mine is pride, is the first thing that came to me. So whatever it is that you just made room for, whether it was more joy, confidence, anything like that, I want you to go ahead and tune into that feeling. Let that feeling of pride, joy, confidence, whatever it is for you, I want you to imagine it pouring in through the top of your head. Love it. Joy. Sarah, thanks for coming. Ease. If you can give it a color, go ahead and do that. And I want you to imagine that color, that ease, that joy, that pride pouring in through the top of your head, right? Maybe in that area we were tapping on. And I just want you to imagine it just pouring down your temples, into your shoulders, arms, swirling through your chest, entering your heart, planting like a little seed in your heart, and then just becoming part of your bloodstream, shooting to the rest of your body. And allow yourself to just feel all of that. And the last thing we're going to do, we're going to actually just seal this in. So I want you to rub your hands together. Feel that heat, that energy between them. Imagine you're rubbing that energy of joy, energy of ease, the energy of confidence, pride. And I'm going to count down 3, 2, 1. And when I get to 1, we're going to do what's called a head hug, sealing this sensation in. So the head hug, you're going to put one hand on your forehead and one hand on the back of your skull. saying whatever word is there for you. So 3, 2, 1. Pride. Amazing. Thank you all for joining me today. It was a last minute thing and definitely loving to do more of these. So shoot me a message if there's ever anything you want me to tackle or do a tap along video with. And I look forward to seeing you again next time.